Good afternoon, everybody. So today I'm going to present you on the topic of the MIR, which is in the long phases, it's the measurement information requirements. So here's my topics. So actually, I'm a QS in practice for over 20 years. And then since 2010, I've been entered into the BIM industry. So actually, I've been working as a BIM in the BIM industry for 12 years. So according to my professionals in the QS and the BIM, so actually I joined together two professionals, BIM and QS together. So that's why we are talking about the 5D, okay? So I've done the first 5D BIM projects in Hong Kong for the housing projects, which is 水泉路. Phase 1. I suppose it should be the first in the Hong Kong, absolutely. And then I can say it should be the first in the Southeast Asia as well. And then all along that, I have many experience, so that I would like to have my sharings to every institutions or every countries like Hong Kong, Macau, China, Malaysia. So this is just a brief introduction of myself. So actually, we are talking about the standard, okay? So we refer to what the CIC. Okay, CIC already established many versions of BIM standard, okay, since 2015. And then to the latest one should be the 2021 in the December, which is the most common versions of BIM standard we are using now, according to the ISO 19650, okay? So regarding to those BIM requirements, we have a very important that we need to know is that the level of information need, which this level of information needs is formally we call it the level of development, LOD, okay? Because the LOD divided what kinds of model information or what kinds of model element we need to do, and then we need to emphasize on the modelings according to different development and all the different design details. Okay, so actually, when we look into the details descriptions according to the LIN in the BIM standard, they divided it into graphics LDGs, informations LDI, and also the documentations DOC. Okay, so actually we need to know, we all know that all the informations we have to divide according to the geometry, to the graphical presentations regarding to the progress or the design's development. And then we have to increase all the information so that we know that the information contains in the element which is facilitated, what we are going to build, what we are going to hand over, we are going to submit. And for the submissions, of course, it goes to the documentation versions, the documentation parts. So in details, we know that, okay, according to the details, according to the development, we have the changings, the conversions of our designs from a very simple version to a very details, very fine details, very complex in the details, in the geometry-wise, okay, so that we can visualize the designs in details, okay? But according to the information as well, we know that all the information should be increased according to the time, because we think more about it, we learn, we know that what we are going to build, and then we put more information, more requirement into our model objects, so that we get the other sets of data, which is called level of information, the LODI in the BIM standards. Okay, the terms they mentions. Okay, so there should be a question: is that going to be the same that LODG must equal to the LDI? I suppose in phasing, we can say that LDG in the numbers of 100 to 400 and LDI from 100 to 500, are they going to simultaneously increase at the same time? My answer is no. Okay, but actually you can see it from the design-wise, okay, we know that, okay, in the geometry-wise, we have a very simple design of a chairs, and then we just know it's a chair. So it is a LD 0, and then we got a 1. We have a precise size in the geometry-wise, and then we have the details, the layout, and then what kinds of material we requested. So it is the way that all the informations and the graphics go simultaneously at the same time. But in actual, we can say, according to what the elements we are talking about, we know that the details of the geometry of the graphics may not equal to the informations. For example, in a pipe, okay, for design-wise, okay, maybe we need to show in visualize, so we have a detailed fixings on a flange band or T that they have how many bolts and nuts that need to screw together to do the fixings. But in information-wise, we just need to know what kinds of material and what kinds of system and what is the size. That's okay. So we know that it have to be some kinds of difference between the design details and also the information-wise, okay? So according to the QTO, we are QS. So we are going to do measurements according to the drawings, according to the specs, or according to models. Okay. So the major important thing is that we need to get sorts of informations according to what percent or inside the model, so that we can measure according to, or we can quantify according to the model by descriptions. As you can see, from the BQ, it is a very simple BQ items regarding a metal door. So actually, we know that the material should be metal, okay? And then it should be a single leaf or double leaf. And then the opening size, and then the leaf size, etc., etc. And the most important, of course, we need to go into the details, that which detailed sections or detailed door number should refer. Okay, so we go to the detailed drawings according to those MD22 or MD23. Okay, we got the information or the details of that particular doors. Okay, so we notice that in the models, we may just simply draw a door, okay, in a geometry-wise, okay, that the door size, the door size, and the opening size are correct. But for information-wise, for QTO, we need to know many things in addition. Okay, so that's why we should have some kinds of informations that should be standardized or make it a requirement, so that the modeler can provide those kinds of information to QS, and then QS can make use of these kinds of information to do the QTO for the BQ. Okay, so actually, in the view of that, okay, so in Hong Kong IS, it is they have digitalization subcommittees under the QSD divisions in Hong Kong IS, and then we use several times to do that kinds of drafting to standardize or to illustrate different materials, different elements, different components that should contain certain information that could be facilitated for the QS to do the QTO. So actually, we have drafted these kinds of documents in according to what our requirements. So this is the reasons that we need to have these kinds of measurement information requirement, okay, at the moment. So, for example, those booklets, the information requirements contains 200-something pages, okay, and have different sections about different elements from the concrete works to the EMM works. So actually, it covers, well, I cannot say we have already covered all the components in the building projects. Okay, but I can say that we have the most important or major key items already illustrated in this requirements document. Okay, for example, in the concrete works. Okay, for example, we need to create structural models. We have the framing models according to wall beam set columns, which is the most basic components that we need to create in the structural models. But we should have something that we have to mention the simplest example should be the conjugate grade. Okay, actually, modeler just create a column, just create a wall, but didn't mention about the conjugate grade because the conjugate grade always refer to the general specifications on the page 1 of the structural drawing sets. Okay, it mentioned about that. For example, if it's a low transfer structural element, it should be C60 or C or something, and for the non-structural one, it should be C30. For example, so actually we have to mention in the model so that when we extract the quantity directly from the models, we can classify, we can divide it into different strengths. Okay, because in our BQ we need to do classifications according to the SMM. So actually, this is the requirements we need to let the modeling team to align with QS team. So actually, this document should be a between the modeling standard and the information requirements. So this is what we are going to present our documentations in that way. Okay, and then for examples in the pipe web, as I say, most of the information is already contained when we build pipe models. So actually we have the system, we have the materials, we have the size already. What else? What else we need? Maybe we need, of course, the geometry-wise, we need to have the dimensions, the length, and then also numbers of fixings, of the fittings included, and then also for some pipes and ducts, they have the insulations layer. We need to define what kinds of material of insulations we need to put into the models so that we can quantify it. Okay, so this is the way we do. In the architectural elements, for example, doors, of course, we already, just as I say, we already have the structural opening size, the lift size, but of course, we need to notice that the material we use, okay? So was it a metal door or wooden door or glass door? Okay, it all depends the weights we need to price on this. So that's why we need to quantify, we need to classify. And then as I mentioned about, we need to know more. Okay, for example, the 5-weighted the ratio, is it a 1 hour 5-weighted or half an hour 5-weighted? Absolutely, it won't, if we don't talk about it, no modeler will mention in the models, okay? Those kinds of information we need to ask for. Then the model team will put it into the model, okay? Is it difficult? No, not difficult. But the question is that, is it what you want? Is it what you require? So we need to elaborate, we need to illustrate what kinds of information we did need, okay? And then for the finishes, I know that it is very, very difficult to make those modeling teams must create a finishes wall or not. Okay, so actually, if they are going to create a finishes wall, what kinds of information they need to provide? We have also illustrated. And then, according to the information requirements, we have mentioned about that. No matter you create it or not, there should be a way that we can do some measurement works. Okay, for example, we can use the WOM, okay, functions of WOM to have a rough calculations or rough quantifications about the WOM area, floor area, and then the wall parameters times the height equals to the wall area as well. So actually, we can roughly estimate the quantity within a WOM. Okay, so no matter you don't need to create the finishes. Okay, the other ways is maybe you use the paint functions. You paint the color to the elements, so you can generate the area according to the paints. It is another way. And the third way, of course, you create the objects. It will be the perfect way. Okay, but it takes the most of the times. Okay, so it should be a judge on that. So which kinds of way you can do it? There should be a way that QS can use the models, use the information to get our quantity in an accurate way, or we can do the estimations in a quickest way, okay? So this is the reasons we need to provide that kinds of information. So actually, these informations have been already launched on January this year. And then it is under industry consultations now, and then most of you can be downloaded from the link, okay, in here. So actually you can have a view on it, and then as a practitioners, of course, you can fill on it whether the informations that they mentions inside are they good for you, or are they too tedious, or something that you can give your feedback to Hong Kong IS. Okay, so I hope that it will bring these documentations more useful to everyone in the industry. Okay, but what's next? Why we need to use these kinds of informations? Are they just only purely for what we do on the QTO, what we do on the calculations? I suppose it should be not in that way. Okay, in my way, I always think about that. We are now talking about many times the AI, the automations. Okay, so we want to have something that can be systematically to do the classifications, so that we can go to the trench to the automations approach. So actually, my idea is that, okay, wherever we create an informations, and then those kinds of informations already embedded in the model objects containing the reasonable informations that required by the QS, okay? And also it is compromised that from the BIM team and the QS team, they got to use that kinds of information is far enough, okay? Not too much, but not too less as well, okay? So actually, we have this kinds of standard model and standard informations already contained in the BIM models. And then if we can make it more digitalized, okay, we can some codify on it, we can use some standard numeric numbering system to contain all those of informations. Then I suppose we can do some automations, we can use some AI approach to make these kinds of matrix together. Okay, so actually we read from the models and contain, if they contains a wall element, if they contains a conjugate grade, and then we can know this should be a conjugate wall with a certain thickness, and then we can apply a coding on it. And then of course, according to this automatically coding system, we can do the classification works. And then we can generate the BQ according to same approach, the similar approach and the same idea. So actually, those kinds of BQ or the quantity should be generated automatically, directly from what the information already contains in the model objects. So this flow should be in an automatic way or machine learning way. Okay, we can do some works on this because those kinds of classifications is what we do in our BQ. So actually, the coding system, the PSS informations are both important for the automations, for the AI QTO, what I mentioned. Okay, so the idea is that, okay, we just exchange the text informations into the model parameters, and then contains the model informations, and then the standard modeling approach, the SAM, okay? So actually, it should be vice versa. Okay, we can do it in both ways. Okay, wherever we can get the objects and the informations, we can generate the BQ. What if we have a standard BQ, and according to the informations, if we can get the model objects from a standard object library, we can generate the model by text description, just like what we do in the AI chat now. Okay, we use the text to create image. Okay, so the approach should be applied on the BIM model as well. I suppose in some day later, we can just text what our requirement in a paragraph, and then the computer can generate a design and then build some models. So, and then those models, we can have the quantity, we can have the BQ, etc., for the QS, for the cost estimation as well. So actually, models and the codes, and then the standard description we can put it into the BQ automations, and then we can generate the cost, okay, because the most important things we talk about is money. So actually we have the BQs, and then we can price on it, and then we can get the cost. And then we can, running the cost, we can do the cash flow analysis, et cetera, et cetera. So actually, those information is benefits to cost management, okay, which is the most important things for all projects. Okay, so this kinds of approach, okay, actually is my framework according to the QIM, okay, the QIM, quantitative information modeling, which I've been which I always in my mind for several years. Okay, so that I think that the 5D way should be go in that way. Okay, the AI is our ultimate goal. And then according to the AI, of course, we can directly generate the con, generate the BQ, and then after we have the full sets of BQ according to the information provided in the models, and then of course, we can do the auto pricing. Okay, because all the pricings have a data library, okay? What kinds of material, how many workers, the productivity, and also the what we say, pan labor materials, okay? How many pans we need to use, and then how many profit we need to put into. All is data. All this data can be automatically generated. So after you have the auto billing, you can have auto pricing. Then auto pricing is auto cost generations. Okay, so actually I suppose we should go in that way. And then this is what my natural, my ultimate goal, okay? We have a model approach so that we can govern or we can testify what kinds of model we need to put into the models. So we have the model, a standard approach of modeling, the SAM, and then we have the measurement information requirement, which is the MIR, and then this is for the model auditing, because we need to make sure that the model is accurate so that the information provided is accurate, okay? So we have the model audit approach. And then we can do the auto coding according to what the SMM, okay, maybe SM5 at the moment, SM4 at the moment, and very soon we have the SMM5, okay? And then we have the standard coding, so actually we get the QTO, the quantifications, in automatic way. And then we do it the auto pricings, we can price the BQ in an automatic way, in an AI way, okay, so all the costs can be generated according to the cost breakdown structure. And then the most important thing is what we do for the cost management. Because we have the source, we have the information, we can do it for the cash flow estimations, the S-curve, we can do the payments, we can do the variations, we can do the final account, we can do procurement, we can do subletting, we can deal with the e-contract. So everything is under the AI, under the automation. So I suppose it should be the way we go for it. Okay, thank you very much.